Here on the Newsfeed, PMN reporting continues now. Embattled security company Mafoko Security Patrols has finally released the December salaries for the guards after claiming that non-payment by clients and technical issues had prevented payments. The payments were made after the Gauteng Provincial Legislature concluded its contract with the security company in December 2025 following Mafoko's failure to pay employees their December salaries. Okay, we're joined now by SAFTU General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi, as well as Busiswa, Tsibiyana, Mduduzi, Msweli, and they are the guards at the Mafoko Security. Also joining the conversation is NUMSA's Security Cluster Coordinator, Frederick Mabasa. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming and sharing this conversation with us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Busiswa, let me begin with you. Finally received your December salary?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yes.
And any communication?
We received a memorandum that says we will get our salaries on the 15th of January.
On the 15th of January?
Yes. Yeah. And on the 15th, we're supposed to get two salaries.
Yeah. A
salary for December and also salary for January.
Yeah. Any explanation why it's so?
No explanation.
Yeah. Is this the first time that this has happened to you?
Actually, since 2025, we've been receiving our salaries very late.
Yeah.
Yes, not on the 15th, but according to our contract, we're supposed to be getting our salaries on the 15th, but every month we are getting our salaries on the 20th, on the 25th, on the 21st. We are not getting our salaries on the 15th, according to how we signed our contract.
Because
yes, sir.
What are people saying on the ground? I mean, where you are seeing this pattern in 2025, salaries are not coming and all sorts of things. What is behind this? What's going on?
My sister is working at CJC and I'm working in legislature. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's legislature. Yeah. It's there deliberate for late payment.
Oh.
It's better there at legislature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it can be 16 or 17. But in this December, or last December,
yeah,
we never received our payment on time. No communication. It was just quiet.
Yeah.
Up until it's January. So now we start panicking. If we ask our site manager, hey, what is going on? He just tells us, I don't know.
Yeah.
We received the memorandum after some of our colleagues went there to the office and protest, and some circulating videos on TikTok. That's when they sent us that memorandum, saying that we'll receive our payments on the 15th of January.
All right.
But we as legislature, we received our payment, I think it's Friday. Yes.
Oh, so you guys who work at the legislature, you've been paid already?
Yes, we've been paid.
So you don't work at the legislature?
Yes. No, I'm working at CJC College.
Oh, you work at the college?
Yes.
Okay, so why do you believe it's the legislature? Because the legislature says, no, we cancel our contract and all of a sudden your payments were released. So, I mean, why do you believe it's them who withheld the salaries deliberately?
I don't know, we can't confirm it. You know, we didn't sign a contract with the legislature. We signed the contract with Mafoko.
Yeah.
For us, is to render the service to legislature.
All right.
Yes.
Are we not using a hammer to kill a fly here? Where we say, no, cancel this company completely. Where does Busiswa and Mduduzi go now?
You should have told asked Busi that her history with Mafoko goes a little bit long back. Yeah. At some point, she worked for the company and didn't get paid for 5 years.
Get increase.
I'm sorry, didn't get any kind of increase for 5 years. This company does this everywhere, every day. NUMSA comrades are here. They will tell you that, in fact, this company rotate payments. If we are working for the guarding the legislature, you will get your salary this month. Those who are working at the airport will not get it because you have had to be paid. And those that are working somewhere else will not get paid because these will have to be paid this month. This is what they are doing. And this is our point, you know. Mafoko is boasting and was here saying that we are a black-owned company. To be a black-owned company doesn't give you a right to brutally exploit and abuse your power against other fellow black workers. We never struggled for black companies to take over in the exploitation and the brutalization of black workers, because now the so-called black economic empowerment, and therefore the black tycoons feel that they have no obligation towards their own workers. And Mafoko was here making a ridiculous claim that we want to be relevant at their expense, and threatening to sue us. Last year, they wrote us an official letter, by the way, to say, withdraw, withdraw, we are suing you. We told them to go and jump in the nearest pool. We're not going to withdraw any allegation we are making against them. They can proceed to sue us. When they do that, they will find out that there are thousands of other workers, like the two that you are seeing here, who have the same complaints. Every day our phones receive a message to say, I was working for Mafoko and I was working for the security companies. We were dismissed in 2020, 2022. We received no justice whatsoever. These guys are absolutely on rampage. And that's why we're making a desperate call to the government to say they must comply with the country's laws, or cancel their contracts. They are not immune, and they shouldn't be exempted because they wear a black skin from complying with the labor laws of the country. Full stop.
Frederick, from NUMSA's point of view, have you engaged the employer? Have they brought you to their confidence, opened the books? What's going on there? Are they in financial trouble? Are clients not paying them on time? Legislature withholding payments, as Mduduzi says, they are suspecting this is what happens.
Yeah, thanks. I must say that the problem of Mafoko, it's not only for Mafoko only. There are so many security companies that are doing the same thing. I can mention a number of them that are doing the same thing. When we try to engage these companies to ask why are you not paying employees on time, they don't disclose. They tell you that, look, we don't have any issues with our clients, we are receiving monies on time. But the question is, why are you not paying the salaries of the employees on time? And this issue of salaries, it also affects even the benefits of the employees. In terms of the bargaining council of the private security, there are a number of benefits that are there for the employees, but we know that Mafoko, it's one of the companies that was refusing to comply with the bargaining council. We end up organizing a march, NUMSA together with other unions. We organized a march to go and hand over a memorandum in their offices back in 2024 and asking them to make sure that they comply. Like now, recently in 2025, in October, we marched to the National Treasury to raise the same concern with National Treasury to say, it came to our attention as unions that all security companies that are contracted with government, they are not complying. Those who are working in AXA site in OR Tambo, those workers, they receive their salaries.
Who's regulating that space? Who's responsible to ensure that they're making these contributions?
Look, there is a bargaining council that regulates the working conditions of all security workers in the country. Now, what we have realized is that the majority of security companies, they are not complying. And we as trade unions, we have to report all these companies to the bargaining council to make sure that they do comply.
I think that I've spoken to the pension fund regulator. There is a pension fund regulator that makes sure that these companies are supposed to do that. Are they not doing their jobs?
They are doing their job. For example, go to pension fund adjudicator in Pretoria and check how many cases of Mafoko that have been opened by the employees about the contribution of the Provident Fund. As we speak, those workers, they confirm that they receive salaries 2 to 3 months back. But check with them whether the money that was deducted from their salaries, whether it was paid over to the Provident Fund or not. You will find that it's not been paid. In terms of the salary increase, recently, on the 1st of March, workers in the security industry, they are expected to get a salary increase. Go and check with Mafoko whether...
is it just a case that there's bad business practices that are going on at Mafoko, or is there something else that is underneath? Or as Dr. Vavi says, are they intentionally out for exploitation?
If they were communicating with us, the main issue that makes them not to pay the salaries on time, we're going to clarify this is the reasons, but they don't disclose. They don't tell us what is the cause. Like I said, we have got one security company called Msweli Security. In October last year, they terminated 1,400 security workers. Those who were getting Transnet. Those workers, they did not receive their severance package. The packages at all.
Yeah.
And we asked Mjayeli Security to share with us the rent value of the packages of these 1,400 security workers. It's the range for more than 50 million rands.
Sure.
And we are talking about security companies that are contracted with government. We march to government and ask them to disclose as to why are you not compelling these companies to comply with the provision of the law.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are not getting any positive response.
Busiswa, 5 years, no increase. We are at this point now. SAFT is going to make a whole lot of noise to government. I mean, already the legislature has responded to say we cancel the contract. Possibility that if other government departments, AXA and the college that you're working in follow suit, your employment will be terminated. So would you support that call?
Our contract ended also on the 31st of December 2025 with legislature. But I'm very disappointed that they got their salary and we never got ours. Ibhlungu inhliziyo yami kakhulu nokuthi iMafoko makuphelelwe icontract bayakutransfera to labe nama site khona abakuphi amaphepha wakho we retrenchment, uthole imali zakho ze-service, uthole imali zakho ze-Provident fund, uthole imali zakho ze-UIF uhambe uyoclaima. Baye bathi bona kubo awuphelanga umsebenzi, sinawo umsebenzi ePitori. Not all of us are willing to relocate and leave our families in Soweto.
So like, you are prepared to take a retrenchment package?
Yes, I'm willing.
Yeah.
More than willing to take that retrenchment package
and
than
relocating.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. You are still okay at the legislature? If they terminate that contract, your employment is terminated, how do you feel?
The contract with Mafoko with legislature is ended also in 31st of December.
Yeah.
But some of our colleagues were forced to resign. You are forced to resign.
True.
Others, they signed end of contract.
Yeah.
What is...
But do you have a union there? Do you have a representation? How are these things happening when there's a union?
Yes, we have a union that deducts our money.
Yeah.
But
so do you go to the union and say they are forcing me to resign?
Explain once more this in some detail so that the viewers can know what you're talking about this union that is supposed to be.
Can I mention the name of the union?
Yes,
yes. Go ahead.
We had a union called NUMSA that we joined, signed down that we are joining NUMSA. But all of a sudden, there were times whereby two unions deducted our money. It was Cow Union and the NUMSA. When we asked what is happening, they told us that it was a human error. When time goes on, when we ask how this thing is happening, but now only Cow that is deducting, not NUMSA. And then Cow Union come to our site and told us that they signed what's called a closed shop. We don't know it's a closed shop. Yeah. We don't know the laws of closed shop.
Yeah, that Uvavi will explain that.
Yes. But even today, I don't know the Cow offices, and if I can have a problem now, I don't know where can I go.
Okay. Well, we're going to reach out to NUMSA and we'll give them a right of reply because you've raised their name now, so we want them to also come and give us their side of the story. But Tatuvavi, I mean, what are we actually dealing with here in this particular security sector? As NUMSA says, this is not the only company.
It's BEE gone mad. It's outsourcing gone crazy. This all being done in the name of transformation. We are affirming our black brothers and sisters. They were marginalized during apartheid, so we're giving them the contracts even if they cannot demonstrate any kind of experience and know-how of how to manage a company, let alone a security company. So that's your first problem. BEE has been allowed to be interpreted to mean affirmation of a tiny minority of black faces, even at the expense of the broader working class and the marginalized black majority. And that's why we are opposed to the black economic empowerment that is based on boardrooms, shares, and affirmation just through the black skin without any other consideration beyond that. Because it ends up being the workers were victims during the apartheid, they remain the victims post apartheid. That's the first point. The second point, it makes you to wonder, your question to Comrade Mabasa. It makes you to wonder, what is it in these black companies that makes our government to close their eyes in the face of these abuses meted against workers? At some point, and I know that this is one of our black spots even in SAFTU, we marched in KwaZulu-Natal, and our government in KwaZulu-Natal under the ANC dismissed over 6,000 workers for mere demanding that they must be insourced when regarding hospitals, schools, and so forth. Dismissing 6,000 most underpaid workers for demanding that they must be insourced. That's the second part. Why do you insource security in the national key point, the airport? Why will you take a risk about such a risk of the reputation of the country by giving a contract to some black company in the name of so-called transformation? And then you end up with a company that doesn't pay workers in time, that doesn't give them any kind of increases, that doesn't hand over their Provident Fund, UIF, you name them, all statutory deductions to the relevant authorities.
Yeah.
You're sitting with workers teething with anger, who can be corrupted by the crooks. The other time, one group of workers, the Lumpen, managed to get through the airport and they stole undisclosed billions of money. You remember that? There has to be a connection. Our demand is clear. Insource all of these workers. Government have to take over the responsibility. We were excited to hear the ANC president when he was opening the NGC of the ANC, calling on the state to insource, to drive the program of insourcing. We want to endorse that call and say to them, should you not make this as a priority? Insource all of these workers. Stop outsourcing security in the national key points, in our hospitals, in our schools. If you need to employ police, employ more police. Train more people who are better equipped to protect the national key point than to just get people who have not been trained anywhere, who are being brutalized and exploited by the employers. It has to stop.
We'll get some of your final thoughts as we wrap up in just a moment. Right. More news with the Newsfeed PM, but also we'll wrap up this conversation with our panel here. Well, back with you here on the Newsfeed PM, and thanks for staying on. We are receiving, of course, conflicting stories about this embattled security company, Mafoko Security Patrols, and this final release of payment to security guards. It seems others did receive theirs already, but there are others who are told it will come later on in this month of January, and they were given a memorandum of understanding of some sort. Well, we have spoken to the security company, and this is what they had to say.
The staff of the AXA, airport company in South Africa, have been paid, as well as other sites that are of critical infrastructure. How this came about was that there was a TikTok video that alleged that Mafoko Security was not paying its staff at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. To put it on record, the contract between Mafoko Security Patrol and the Gauteng Provincial Legislature came to its natural end in December. Generally, workers had a concern that since the contract had come to an end and their salaries had not been paid, they were worried that the company somehow had suddenly disappeared with their money. Having said that, we communicated with the affected workers that their salaries would be paid when the Gauteng Provincial Legislature employees returned from their holiday. Most of the state-owned enterprises, particularly the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, had obviously left without having paid their invoice. When we then informed them that they needed to pay the invoice, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature informed us in writing that they would only pay us our invoice after we paid the workers from our own pocket, which put us in a situation where we were unable to remunerate the workers, and have to rely on other forms of revenue that has been collected so that we can be able to pay the workers by the 15th. what exists in Harankoa is a magistrate court, and what they were dealing with are pension fund adjudication determinations. Those determinations we have given even to News 24, where we have shown the determinations that these are the determinations that have been made on individual claims, who went and said, well, there was a gap in between contributions made between my claim and what the company still owes. This is the amount that has been determined. I'm approaching the court. The court makes a determination, instructs Mafoko, pay this money immediately or we'll attach assets. And all those monies have been paid. We're even willing to share the proof. So you can see those determinations are what were made. There were about 97 of those determinations. Now, they seem to have relied on those determinations and come up with a figure for the purpose of politicking and saying there's the 100 million. There is no such a thing.
Right, so with us, SAFTI General Secretary Zwelinzima Vavi, we've got Busiswa, Tsibiyana, as well as Mduduzi, Msweli, Mafoko Security Guards, as well as Frederick Mabasa. He's with the NUMSA Security Cluster. He's a coordinator there. Well, you hear it was only 97 determinations, but they were paid because the courts told us to pay them. So everything is paid above board. You were saying, well, you make requests to particular companies like your Transnet and so on and so forth to say, get these guys to comply. Well, this one had to go to court before they got to comply.
Yeah, thanks. Look, it's not true that they are complying. I can tell that Mafoko is not complying in terms of the Provident Fund. Our members who are working at AXA site, their Provident Fund is not yet up to date. And our members are complaining about this almost every day. So if they are claiming that they do comply, of course, we'll have to arrange a meeting with them and ask them to provide those particular proof. But allow me to say that the issue of compliance or paying salaries on time to the security workers, we even wrote a letter to AXA. And we even wrote a letter to some of the ministers and asked them to say, can you please compel all security companies to comply with the bargaining council rules and so forth. And what we are getting is very painful. We are stuck with our members who did not receive their severance package. We wrote a letter to Minister Barbara Chris and asked a meeting with her in December last year to say and ask her to clarify the issue of a contract between Transnet and Mjaeli Security. She refused to meet with us. She referred us back to Transnet. I even wrote a letter to AXA. I met with AXA management. And I informed them that this company, Mafoko Security, is not complying. Find a way to, we are not saying get rid of them. Compel this company to comply in a monthly basis. They must pay the correct basic salary, pay employees all the benefits that are there. Comply in terms of the Provident Fund and health insurance. We met with AXA, they refused to intervene. So these are the problems that we are experiencing. Ourselves as NUMSA and other unions, we met with Premier's office in Limpopo last year on the 4th of December to say and appeal to Premier to say you need to monitor all these security companies that are guarding your premises. To our surprise.
Have you looked into the direction of these companies? Why do they have such a strong link in all these government institutions? AXA, GPL, they are there. Transnet, even Barbara Creasy refuses to respond about them. Who is really in charge of this company?
We don't know. We don't know as to who appoint these companies. When we end up organizing a march to go to National Treasury, we wanted National Treasury to intervene because we have been organizing marches all over the country together with other unions and hand over the memorandum about and appealing government to intervene. But the response that we are getting is very painful. The response that we get from Limpopo Premier's office was that she's not going to talk to us in relation to security companies that are guarding her building. And I can confirm that the security company that is guarding Premier's office in Limpopo, that company is not complying.
Busiswa, you didn't get paid in December. You are likely going to get paid on the 15th, they say, in terms of the memorandum. How are you surviving? I mean, how have you been pulling through this whole time? And do you think you'll make it to the 15th?
Eish kubhad but kumele uthengise noma yini kunzima sifuna imiholo yethu sifuna yoyi2 kahle kahle nge15 zaka January if asiyitholi nge15 zaka January siyabuya la eNewzroom nokuthi nje uthi uBudunar all these started ama allegations that started over a TikTok video. Leya video ikhuluma iqiniso lezinto ezikhulunywa kuleya video ukuthi asiholi ngesikhathi ukuthi sihola sekudlula abo 2 months ukuthi Provident fund yethu asiyitholi ukuthi they force you to resign kunokuthi baku retrench because of babalekela ukukunikeza imali zakho. Sifuna imali zethu, sifuna salary yethu, sifuna imali zethu ze Provident fund. Iphelile contract nge31 zaka December. Sifuna imali zethu ze Provident fund, sifuna imali zethu ze UIF, sifuna imali zethu ze tax yase SARS. Sidonselwa ne tax. Mina ngeke ngathola statement se final demand sikhona lapha ebhegini yami se final demand from SARS ukuthi ngikolota iSARS 2.5. Ngaye SARS ngayo inquire about leyo nto leyo bathi kumele ngiyofuna iIRP5 eMafoko. Ngayithola leyo IRP5 ngayo isubmita SARS. Sifuna imali zethu lezo, sifuna imali zethu ze back payment, sifuna imali zethu zama leave laba bangathathanga ama leave. Zonke lezo imali siyazifuna. Mina angifune ukuresigna, ngifuna i-retrenchment package yami. Injengoba injalo nama services wakhona ngifuna ukuyoclaima bese ngifuna umsebenzi somewhere else.
Mduduzi, what do you think is going to happen to you after the 15th? I mean, it's official now. As you say, the contract with the legislature ended on the 31st of December.
Hey, we as legislature workers, we are not worrying much about the 15th payment of the 15th. Now our worry is our Provident fund, because if I can make an example, I check my statement with at Alexander Forbes. I have 5 years with Mafoko. I started 2020, 2025.
And they've been deducting?
Yes, they've been deducting.
Yeah.
But my balance, I don't know, maybe if I can mention it.
Go ahead if you're comfortable.
My balance is 1,100 for 5 years.
For 5 years.
Yes. And
in your Provident fund.
And there are some few colleagues that send me their screenshots.
Yes.
Sure. They are here on my phone.
Yes.
Sure.
The other one employed in 2015, he have 20,000. And then the other one is a lady. She have, I think 6 or 8 years.
Yeah.
She have 9,000.
Sure. So you are really, really worried about this Provident fund?
Worried about it because the contract ended.
Yes.
Where we should go.
Where will you go?
Where we should go.
They're saying this is a smear campaign to deter Mafoko from participating in a fair and open tender process.
After listening to this, can they really repeat that allegation? Can you call this guy back to come and engage here the workers? He said that this is a creation of us wanting relevance in the media. By the way, we have been in the media space, some of us, for more than 4 decades. We don't need Mafoko to be relevant. We have been doing this all our lives as the trade unionists in this country. So these guys have to be held accountable. I mean, my plea to NUMSA and other unions, we must open criminal charges against these guys. Not only CCMA and Bargaining Council. This is pure fraud to deduct money from the salaries of workers and not handing it over to the relevant authorities. And Busi is perfect in naming all of the authorities that they should be secured by their monies waiting for their time of need. These guys are conducting a criminal activity. They have to be arrested. We have to press charges, dear comrades in NUMSA and other unions. We have to hold them accountable. This is not just about the mere labor issue. By the way, you asked a question about the Financial Services Authority. They are doing their work. They publish their names. Can you believe that? Local governments of many places are doing exactly the same thing.
Sure.
The ANC, the governing party, have had its staff to do it during the recent National General Council because they are doing exactly the same thing of deducting workers' money and not passing it over to the other side or delaying the payments of all of that. Comrade Mabasa is correct. If you're genuinely facing a problem, why don't you ask workers to say comrades or colleagues or whatever you call them, we are in trouble. We need you to understand that the company is going through a dip. This is how long we're going to take into this dip, and therefore we're going to delaying hand over our portion. They can't delay handing over their portion.
Yeah.
Their portion is deducted from their salary. They must be passing that one over, and not their contribution and the workers' contribution are sitting somewhere. That's fraud. That's criminality. We have to press charges against them.
Appreciate you all, and thank you very much for coming on and raising this issue. That is Zwelinzima Vavi. You've got Frederick, Mabasa, as well as Mduduzi, Msweli, and Busiswa, who are the security guards at Mafoko. After the break, what's making news here?